Okay, you can file this one under not super exciting video, but if you're the kind of person who maybe gets easily overwhelmed by too much data, too much information, or you just like the idea of simplification, this is for you. I'm talking about specifically the ways you can customize the way Studio Pro looks, and we've updated and added a whole new category with version 8. So what do I mean? When you develop a DAW like this, a digital audio workstation, it necessarily has to do a lot of things. So for example, if I click on a piece of audio and I right click, and then I come down here, you'll see, first of all, there's a lot of options here. And if I come down here, you can see there's just so many things I can do with this piece of audio. Like so many options. And that's one of it's the yin and yang of software development. We want to make it deep so it can do all the things that like professional audio engineers need to do. But then some people never need, for example, a video track. Like you never plan to put video. So like this button right here doesn't make a whole lot of sense for you because you're literally never using a video player. I never use a video player inside of Studio Pro. I do video elsewhere, but not there. So some of those buttons, it might be nice to just kind of get rid of the things you don't use so you're kind of only seeing what you need to use. I like that from just like a personal simplification standpoint. I like things to be as simple as possible, but no simpler. We allow for that now. So in case you're curious how this works, if you just right-click up here in the menu, you'll get a single option called Customize. Or in case you didn't know, if you press F4, that opens up this inspector on the left-hand side, which gives you a bunch of information about whatever specific track or channel you have selected. And it has a bunch of different sections as well. Same thing, if we just right-click, that Customize shows up. Same thing down at the bottom. Right-click, Customize shows up. So that pulls up this customization window. And we have a couple of ways you can use this. First of all, you can create your own and save it. So if you make the world's most ultimate customization, you could save it and even share it with other people. But we also have a few options here. So complete, kind of a pre-done template, just gives you everything. Every possible thing that we've put in the menus, specifically in the display, is available to you. And then there's a couple other ones in audio editing, minimal, basic, default. So we've done some for you, but if you'd like to customize it further, you can do that. And there are 5 tabs that you can do this: the toolbar, the inspector, the transport bar, the browser, and then track controls. So what are all of these? Track controls is the new one, by the way. I'll show you that in a second. Toolbar. Well, let's just see. You can actually learn a lot. One of my favorite things about Studio Pro is if you're not sure how something works, chances are you can just figure it out by just clicking around and messing with it. So what happens if I do this? Okay, now we know, in case you didn't know, the toolbar is this part up across the top. So I can take away, what is control link? That's this. This has to do with when I use an external like MIDI controller, it shows what parameter I just controlled. Maybe I don't want to see that. Advanced tools, what is that? Nothing. It doesn't even show up. Input quantize. I don't need that. Toggle snap. I do want that. Ripple edit. I want that. Auto scroll. I want that. Okay. Auto zoom. I want that. Info view. That's this one right here, which is a pretty great view if you're new. You click on that, and now whatever you hover your mouse over something, it shows you like what key commands are available to do things there. That's pretty cool. We'll leave that on. Video player. That's the one I talked about before. Don't really need that. That's going to make this button disappear, because I just don't ever use it. Launcher, scratch pad. I don't use those too much, so I could make those disappear. So now check it out. Just with what we did here, we have fewer controls up here than we had before. Inspector. This is the thing on the left-hand side. There's kind of 2 cool things here. First of all, you may have noticed inside the inspector are these 2 buttons here. So you can hide full sections of things. So if I turn both of those off, now the inspector just shows me this stuff right here. So stuff related to the event itself. So time stretch, follow chords, things like that. If I want to see like the channel strip, I click this button and it allows me to see the channel strip. We can still open and close that and make it bigger if we need to. And if I want to see other things about the event, so specifically event effects, this is where you can find things like transpose, normalize, things like that. We can turn that on and off too. So I like this view as an option, and then just turn this one on when I need it, so it pops up and then goes away. That's kind of fun. But within that, we can also choose which of these things we want to mess around with and we would regularly want to look at. So for example, all of these I want. All of these I want. I don't need that one because I don't mess with play overlaps. Sync point, time lock, edit lock, and loop. I don't ever use those personally. Bend marker, fade. I don't need the fade in, fade out. I do that manually with the mouse. Transpose for sure. I don't use speed up. I really don't use file tempo. I don't use tune. I just use transpose. I do use normalize. I don't use gain either. I do that on the channel with the gain envelope or the handle. Play mode, stretch events, I'll keep those. So even with that, I've taken my inspector and I've simplified it quite a bit, which I think is kind of fun. And so you can customize as much as you want. If you ever change your mind, think, oh, I messed up, just go back and just add some things back in. They don't disappear. They're just under this customization window. The transport across the bottom, there's a lot of stuff down here. You may not need all of it. For example, MIDI monitor, maybe you don't need that to monitor your MIDI. Performance, I think it's cool. The cache, that's that little thing right here. That's kind of interesting. Sample rate, record time, I don't really need to see those. Secondary time display, secondary transport controls. I don't really need those because I use keyboard commands for all of that. The loop range, this thing right here, honestly never look at that. Sync to external devices, that's this right here. I don't use external devices. Metronome for sure. Time signature, key signature, global transpose, and tempo. Yeah, we'll keep all of those. So I just simplified my menu down here quite a bit. And then browser, this is when you press F7, for example, it opens up your effects. If you expand this out, you'll see there's a lot of tabs up here. If there are some you never use, if you don't have a Splice account or you never use that, for example, you never use the cloud or the pool, you can just make those not visible, which is kind of cool. So if you never use the loops, for example, you can make those go away. And I think we've gone through all of them. So track controls, that's the new one that I want to show you in this video. But I want to show the others in case you didn't know they were there, because it really does. I already feel a little more relaxed with fewer buttons in front of me. Maybe you do as well. But this is cool. So on the tracks, if we zoom in, for example, let's like this telly be our example here. So we can change how even this looks. So I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. So we're specifically talking about all this stuff here. If you're used to it, you're used to seeing all these things, but it's kind of nice to know that we could actually, if we wanted to go real minimal, we could take everything off of here. I mean, it'd be as simple as the only thing left is the mute, solo, and record buttons. That's interesting. So why would we do that? Well, if you wanted to control, let's say, the input and channel format somewhere else, you could control that from within the mixer. And so then you leave the channel undone. Or if you want to go all in, you never really open the mixer, you want to do everything from here, you might want all of these on. So I do like having the channel format available, so I'm going to leave that on. Instrument output, instrument channel, instrument input. That's for instrument tracks like virtual instruments. I'll leave those the same for now. For the actual audio track, I definitely want volume. I guess I want panning. That's fairly new that even shows up. The freeze button for sure, that's new and I'll be using that. Edit group, the edit group, I don't necessarily need that. And then the layers, that is pretty handy to have layers right here. So I'm not making many changes here, but as you can see, if you find yourself, you don't use some of these things, maybe you never adjust the volume from here, you always, double click and go adjust the actual fader, then you may not need the volume there, or you may not need panning there. Maybe you only go to do panning inside the mixer and not here. Or maybe you do this. This is one that's kind of an interesting hybrid workflow. You open up your inspector and you have this to give you all the controls of volume and panning, so maybe you don't need them to show up here. So we could go customize. I don't need volume because I'm going to always come over here and do volume. I'm too used to having the volume here. I could go with or without the panning. I don't know if I necessarily need it there because I could always open it up here and adjust the panning. But we just have some options, which I think is pretty cool. And then once you've done this, you can always save it. You can store it, save it on a hard drive so you never forget. But then you have your own kind of custom layout of how you like things to be. I never was much of a customization guy. I wouldn't spend more than 10 minutes just kind of poking around and making it a little bit simpler. And if you find yourself saying, you know what, I don't know if I need like the the toggle snap anymore because I use a key command for that, which I do, but I like to visually see if it's there. You can just play around with it. Info view. Oh yeah, that's that little question mark button. But you've got that available to you, and you'll never lose anything. So never worry about if you feel like I just messed everything up, just come up here and just choose the complete. It'll bring everything back and you can start again. But it's a fun way to work. And if you didn't know that that was there, you may see that my screen looks different from yours. That's probably what's going on. All right, thanks for watching. See ya.